Best Version Media provides a turnkey publishing opportunity even for people who have no prior advertising or publishing experience. Our culture is what makes us stand out more than anything else. We talk about culture a lot. We do that because culture eats strategy for lunch. In other words, a great culture creates a powerful strategy, but a great strategy without a great culture is doomed. We're aware that ultimately what drives people isn't simply what they do, rather it's who they become while they do it. That's why we chose the name Best Version Media for our organization. We produce the best version of all articles and content for our readers. We work out the best version of all advertising campaigns for our sponsors. We create the best version of a publishing and business building opportunity for our team members. More than anything else, though, we supercharge those things by becoming the best version of ourselves. Our culture is made up of three things. The first is professional will, meaning that all the members of our team own their mistakes and their victories. You can't have one without the other. All companies are made up of imperfect people, same here, but we all work hard at Best Version Media to become the best version of ourselves, which means accepting our flaws, but working hard with the support of others to overcome them without being judged. The second part of our culture statement is a compassionate heart. We work with people who have a strong professional will, which means that if a mistake does happen, we don't come down on that person. We ask how we can help. Mistakes are uncommon here, but understanding combined with ownership creates a safe, trusting, team-oriented work environment. And the third part of our cultural statement is a fun-loving spirit. We simply have fun doing what we do. We compete, we challenge, sometimes prank, and often laugh at ourselves. If you're going to do it, you might as well make it fun. In addition to those cultural realities, we also have a strong focus on the virtue of humility. Humility is the greatest strength in the workplace. It creates support, opens minds, powers teachability, and fuels courage. We're confident that we're the best at what we do, but it's not pride that brings us there. It's the humble awareness that being the best is hard work, and it means respecting the forces which pull at a business. Lifestyle is very important to our culture. The work that we do is done primarily during the regular daytime and work week hours instead of a need for evenings or weekends. Ultimately, that's a person's choice. But the structure and engine we built for our publishers allows for flexibility and autonomy with a very family-friendly and hobby-friendly schedule, which of course is dictated by the publisher. Let's talk about compensation now. The publisher compensation is based on the profit levels of the magazine the publisher manages. Here's how it works. Each magazine that we publish needs to have articles written, pictures taken, a design created, administrative services provided, such as merchant services for credit cards and other financial matters, and it needs to be postmarked. Those are the majority of the expenses that we call a baseline. The publisher must provide enough revenue in each magazine to cover the costs of the monthly baseline before the magazine is published. Now, those expenses do not come out of the publisher's pocket in any way. It's the advertising revenue that meets the baseline costs. So the publisher's responsibility is simply to gather the advertisers. The exact baseline costs depend on the size and circulation of the magazine. These vary and are established after a publisher joins the team and his or her territory is formalized. Despite the baselines varying, the formula is very standard and the variations don't typically affect the way this works. The compensation program is different than most commission-based or entrepreneurial opportunities where people need to hunt and kill their food on a daily or weekly basis in order to eat. Our publishers experience something unique and ultimately more secure. They benefit by long-term income that allows them to take extended vacations and return home to a stable paycheck. Let's take the recent example of Sasha, who started with us just a little over 3 months ago. He had a baseline of $4,000, meaning that in order to send out all of the magazines, the total cost in 1 month for printing, design, content, merchant services, administration, and other baseline items was $4,000. When Sasha sold his first ads, his average ad fee was $300 per month, and his average ad contract was written for 12 months, which is the minimum duration that we offer. So when Sasha sold one ad for $300 per month, the actual value of the sale was $300 times 12 months, or $3,600. Sasha sold 15 ads in his first 30 days. That meant he sold a total of $54,000 in advertising spread evenly across 12 months for about $4,500 per month. Since Sasha's baseline is $4,000, he was able to publish his magazines because his monthly revenue was above that $4,000 baseline. Here's where it gets exciting for Best Version Media publishers. We pay 80% commission to the publishers above that baseline. We do this because being a publisher with Best Version Media isn't a job. Advertising jobs pay only 15 to 25% commission. But we aren't looking for cogs in a wheel. We're looking for actual partners. So here's what Sasha did the month following hitting his baseline. Keep in mind that he was now earning 80% of what he sold. In week 1 past his baseline, Sasha sold $13,600 worth of ads. In week 2, he sold $2,400. In week 3, he sold $12,000. And in week 4, he went on vacation. So in the month following meeting his baseline, Sasha sold $28,000 worth of ads and earned 80% of that, or $22,400. Of course, Sasha doesn't receive one single check for $22,400 because the compensation is paid over the duration of the advertising contracts. So in Sasha's case, over 12 months. Of course, then he continues to build his income beyond that. When Sasha returned from Europe, which is where his vacation was, he sold an additional $28,181 over the next month, earning $22,544 that month. That brought his total earnings since he started to $44,944 in that period of time. Now, that again is spread over the 12 months that those contracts actually exist with the advertisers. Let's take another example. There's Victor. He actually took a few months to get in a groove, so his income was a little bit delayed. But in the 2 months following going to print, Victor sold $40,000 in advertising above his baseline, making his income $32,000 over that period of time. Again, Victor receives that income over the duration of the advertising contracts. In his case, 15 months. Then there's Melissa, a former school administrator without any previous sales experience who started with us 3 months ago also. Melissa hit baseline in 26 days. Then she sold $135,000 worth of ads over the next 2 months, bringing her earnings for those 2 months to roughly $108,000. Again, that's paid over the duration of the advertising contracts. In Melissa's case, 18 months. Of course, she continues to build her income beyond that every single month. Now, these results do vary. It takes some publishers several months to get to baseline. The primary driver in how long it takes to go to print and hit baseline is based on the individual person's needs, work effort, and aptitude. Obviously, a publisher who needs to provide will be more inclined to get to print sooner than some of our publishers who are more financially established in life when they begin with us. At Best Version Media, we don't hide from the reality that at first the income is slow. We call that part of the program the Ramen Noodles Budget Cinema Plan. But that is soon replaced by a stable steak and live theater plan after the publisher goes to print and builds their book of business. Next, I'd like to share a little bit about the day in the life of a publisher. The primary responsibility for a publisher is to schedule 3 appointments with new clients each day. And there are thousands of companies in every territory who need our services, from physicians, spas, car dealers, restaurants, insurance agents, landscapers, pest control, builders, flooring companies, pet groomers, and hundreds of other industries. The choices are vast. Our publishers sign about half of their customers up on the first visit, while the other half is sold on the second or third visit, but even that takes place generally within a week or 2, so our sales cycle is quite short. As far as managing the content of the magazines is concerned, we have a very refined formula for our publishers to follow. That includes how to find a content coordinator, and we help train that person from a corporate perspective so that the publisher ultimately only needs to spend a few short hours per month on content matters. Therefore, publishers are not required to write articles or conduct interviews. They have a content coordinator who manages all of that. Be assured that if we choose you as a partner, we believe that you have both the work ethic and the aptitude, but the work, of course, needs to be done by you with our never-ending support. If you are approved for a publisher position, we immediately work with you on how to identify a market by using a formula that we've developed over a 6-year period of time. We're able to find a magazine demographic that fits the model generally within 3 to 5 days. Then you attend a 2-day training at one of our 4 region locations across the country and receive unlimited continued training via conference calls, live conferences, and even one-on-one coaching. Feel free to ask any questions to the publisher or talent scout who initiated the discussion about becoming a best version media publisher. I hope your discovery process leads to you becoming the best version of yourself.